What is up, 7th grade? This is lesson 37. Our objective is how to find the area of a triangle and also working with area of complex figures or composite figures, part 2. We've worked with some composite figures before. Remember, composite figures is just where you combine them together, where there's a couple different shapes smashed together. And before we start with areas of triangles, let's first remember how to find the area of a rectangle. I said a box here. A rectangle or a square. Remember, the area of a square or a rectangle is just simply the length times the height, or the base times the height. So just b times h. So I give you the area of this whole big rectangle. But notice if I want to find the area of this red triangle, notice this red triangle is the same amount of space as this triangle up here. So I could do the same thing, find the area of this whole piece, but then just find half of that, because the red part is only half of the whole rectangle. So what we do is the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. See the base times height? We're just multiplying it by half. The other way to write this same thing is to say base times height and then divide that by 2. These two mean the same thing, so you can pick either one, this one or this one, whichever you like. Please note, and this is very important, a lot of people make this mistake, but you will not, because I'm telling you right now, and you'll remember not to make this mistake. The height, or we also sometimes call it the altitude, is the distance between a vertex, or like a point of the triangle, and the opposite side. So the base and the height always meet at a right angle. So please remember this right angle part right here. In fact, I'll highlight it for you in yellow. Right angle. You need to remember the right angle business, okay? That always mean a right angle. And also something you think about is here I drew this base on the bottom, but the base is not always on the bottom. Sometimes it could be on a side or on the top, which is kind of deceiving because we call it a base. But the main thing is to think about, I'm trying to find two measurements that meet at a right angle. So notice here, on this first one up here, down here, this is the base, and this is the height, because those meet at a right angle. So this length right here would be my height, and this length would be a base. Notice I just copied this same thing and spun it around. If I spin a triangle around, it's not going to change its area. So even though it looks like it's sitting on this down here, and we want to be like, oh, this is the base. No, we still have this length and that length. So this over here is still my base, and this is my height. Because again, they meet at that right angle. Base, height. Even if I spin it around again, notice these meet at a right angle right here. So this is going to be my base. This is going to be my height. Okay? Now the height is not always inside the triangle. Sometimes, like the one we saw on the previous page, the base and the height are the sides of the triangle. Right? So here's the base of this one, and here's the height of this one. Right? Because again, those meet at the right angle. And sometimes that height is even on the outside. Notice here's that right angle, so I've got to use this one and this one. It's the base length and the height to find that area. So here, we're actually going to try to work with this sum. So remember, we're going to start off with the formula. Area is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that right angle. Here it is. And the two lengths on either side of that is this length, which is 12, and this length, which is 5. So I'm going to say 1/2 12 times 5. Well, 12 times 5 is going to be 60, so 1/2 times 60, or I'm learning is what is half of 60, which is 30. And remember, since I'm finding the area, and I'll make up a unit here, this is inches. So I'll say this is inches squared. Area of that one is going to be 30 inches squared. There we go. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Again, I'm going to look for that right angle, which is right here. So I'm going to find the two lengths, this one and this one. Those two are the ones that meet at a right angle. So I'm going to say 1/2 base, which is 12, times the height, which is 8. Since they're multiplying, you can pick any three that you want. I can multiply these two first if I want. So 1/2 of 12 is going to give me 6 times 8. So the area of this one is going to give me 48. I don't, we'll stick with the inches thing. Inches squared. I think on your homework or on your quiz, they'll have a measurement, or it might say, units are in inches. Something like that. And then as I come here to part C, we're going to write down our formula again. Area is equal to 1/2 base times the height. Again, I'm going to look for that right angle. There it is right there. So I'm going to use this length, which is the 6, and this length, which is also the 6. So 1/2, 6 times 6. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 6. It's going to be 3 times 6. So 1/2 times 6 can be 3. And 3 times 6 is 18. So the area is going to equal to 18 inches squared, or square inches. Alright, 2 more with these composite shapes, and then we'll turn you loose on your homework. So this is like a piece of paper here. I think this is from your guided practice. And they've taken and cut out this little 4-inch square. And they want to know the area of this piece of paper that's left. This part that I'm kind of shading in. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece of paper into 2 rectangles. I'm just going to cut it down right here. So I'm going to find the area of this red rectangle, find the area of this green rectangle, and then I'm going to add those two together. Okay? So I need to just figure out those missing lengths. I know this length right here is 4, right? From here to here is 4. And I know from here to here is 4. And I know the whole length is 10. So that means this length is going to give me 6. Because the whole length is 10. I found that from right here. The whole length is 10. From here to here is 4, which means the rest of that must be 6. If it was harder numbers, I could just say 10 minus the 4 would give me that 6. So to find the area of that green one is going to be 4 times 6, which is going to equal to 24 inches squared. Now to find the area of the red part, well, I know this length is 10, right? But this length in here is not 12 because it only goes to right here, right? So the whole length is 12, and I take away the 4, this length here would be 8. So it's going to be 10 times 8, which is equal to 80 inches squared. If I add those two together, maybe to get a total here, it's going to give me 104 inches squared is the area of this whole big, what we call composite shape. All the red and the green together. Alright, let's try one more here. This is F again from your practice set. Let's again cut this into a red part and a green part. I'm going to cut it right here. This one here is going to be the red one, and then this one over here is going to be the green one. So the red one's actually decently easy because we have the height right here and we have the width right here. So I just have to say area of the red part is going to be 24 times 6, which comes out to be 144, there's a measure there, inches squared. Do I need to divide that by 2? No, I don't, because I'm finding the area of a rectangle, not of a triangle. Okay. So now let's find the area of this green rectangle over here. I know the height is 8, so I'm going to multiply 8 times however long this piece is. Well, I know the whole thing is 20. So if I take, and from here to here, I already know is 6. So if I said 20 minus 6, it's going to give me 14. So I need to say 8 times 14. Comes out to be 112 inches squared. So to find the total here, I'm just going to add those up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. 256 inches squared. Your homework, if you haven't noticed, is on page 269. You're going to do the practice set. Don't tell anybody. I just did 2 of your homework problems for you. All the 37s, all the 36s, and 8 more of your choice. Good luck, guys.